Hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Mel's Gaming here with another The Hunter Call of the Wild video. Now today's video is going to be a selection of highlight clips from the past couple of days of grinding whitetail here on Rancho del Arroyo in search of my fourth great one. So most of you guys probably already know by now I am looking for my fourth great one and I am grinding for it here on Rancho, and it's been a very interesting couple of days. I've had a couple of interesting things happen, as well as a lot of big level 3s and some decent level 2 diamonds turning up. Nothing great one size yet, but I'm killing literally thousands of deer. I'm probably near to 2,000, if not over 2,000 kills into this fourth grind now. I have been keeping a note of the numbers, but I will share it like exactly more towards the end if we ever get there. I'm hoping we'll get there, and get a fourth one to spawn, but of course there is no guarantee with that. But just starting off here with a nice sized diamond. He's smaller than I normally see for this rack shape, but 258.50, it is a diamond, and 97.27 kilos, so a good chunky size one. Now, this is probably one of my favourite clips of this entire video. With some of the whitetail managing tactics that I have personally, I managed to get this super herd to spawn. And this is one of the coolest things that I've managed to actually get to happen by doing things how I have found has worked for me. And yeah, basically I wiped out some zones on this lake that were just producing nothing. And the next time I came back, all of the whitetail were basically in one super herd. There was over 30 individual animals in this herd, including that gigantic level 3 that you guys could see me spotting. I was so thrilled with managing to get this herd to spawn, and it seems to be pretty consistent that I can get good respawns like this in terms of numbers and quality with the way I've been doing things. You guys might remember in a previous video I mentioned that I had 5 diamonds in one day, and I'm normally getting multiple diamonds and rares and trolls within, one day. And I always take that as a really good sign that whatever I'm doing is working, especially when a buck like this spawns with this absolutely gigantic diamond rack. And that estimate of 258 to 299, he's just a giant. And I had really high hopes that he could be one of my biggest ever diamond whitetail. And I managed to drop him there with the M1. But just look at the sheer amount of bucks and does that were leaving this zone after I shot. And there was a good number of actual max weight estimate bucks in there as well. I think there was 2 or 3 hanging around. And that is always really positive to see. I like to have those showing up so that I can take them out. And basically, that was all from just shooting herds that only had like 1 buck and a couple of does that were dotted around this lake. But please forgive the frame rate drop there. Unfortunately, that keeps happening at the moment with Call of the Wild. But looking at him on the ground, he was just monstrous. And then I picked him up, and he was another max weight diamond whitetail, 271.40, so definitely one worth keeping for the lodge. But that is a monster buck. So that is my 6th max weight buck overall, and my 2nd one on this 4th grind alone. So I'm getting some pretty good respawns still continuing, to do things the way I always have. And I'm hopeful that eventually a 4th one might pop up. It does feel like it could be quite impossible at times, because I have had the luck to get 3, and yeah, I'm gonna keep trying, because getting a buck like this to pop up, it only has to be a little bit bigger for it to be a great one. And just a buck like this anyway is really, really awesome to see. I know that my channel at the minute is quite whitetail heavy with its content, but I focus on sort of one thing at a time, and I'm currently focusing on trying to get this 4th great one. I think maybe after this 4th one I'll stop. I know I said that after the last one, but I really do want to go and hunt some other stuff. This, I think, probably will be the last one. And yeah, perfect shot, right lung, liver and stomach. Just an absolutely monstrous buck to go in the lodge, and definitely one of the best ones I've had from this grind. So moving on to yet another clip of another whitetail here on Rancho. This is actually at the same spot where I took the first clip. I had this pop up, which is perhaps one of the smallest level 3s I've seen in terms of his rack. I knew that that was not going to make diamond, even with that estimate of 227 to over 260. there was no way that was going to make diamond. That was just such a small looking whitetail. Like I have regularly got level 2s that look absolutely gigantic in comparison to this, and of course they aren't diamond or get close to diamond. Of course sometimes I do get the level 2 diamonds, but yeah, that one is strange. That's the weirdest, smallest level 3 I've seen for a very long time. There was just no chance. He had so little, like, width to him, and he just looked so, like, the frame was just so spindly. Just a very strange level 3. But a level 3 is a level 3. I'll always take a level 3. It is always positive to see a buck of that size popping up, and a decent weight at 96.45 kilos. So I'm just more interested in the fact that that is a good buck for respawns, but just such a pathetic rack for that size of a buck. Now back at that lake where I shot that absolutely monstrous 100 kilo diamond whitetail, I actually had a little albino buck spawn. Now, I absolutely love the albino whitetail. I think they are so gorgeous, especially with their updated models now. They're just beautiful. Perhaps one of my favourite looking rares in the game, and something about the way that they look on Rancho with the sun shining on them. I just think they're absolutely gorgeous. And this one isn't necessarily one that I'm going to keep. However, I will put it into my saved harvests because of the fur types thing with Rancho. Because if you guys remember, certain whitetail and coyotes got bugged in the lodge with the Rancho update. I have several, including one of my great ones that got bugged. And they said that when they roll out the fix to revert those back to the fur types that they should be, any rares for like coyotes and whitetail that you've shot on Rancho might end up changing their fur type. So I'm keeping some of like the albinos and stuff that are smaller like this in my saved harvests, just so that if maybe the ones that I have taxed in the lodge change, maybe there's an off chance that some of the ones in my saved harvest don't, so that maybe I can still have my Huddle albino and Huddle melanistics side by side in the lodge. Now, you guys might recognise this location as somewhere where I shot double diamond whitetail the other day, and I'm going to let more of this clip play out than I normally would, but that is a level 3 stood there in his tight little cluster of whitetail, and a really good size level 2 not too far behind him. Now, I didn't know if that level 3 was going to make it. I thought he looked quite small, and it does have the rack where it either can or it just falls slightly short. However, what actually was more interesting was what happened when I went over here, and it was just a little bit of a different highlight, I feel. So I picked up this guy, decent size level 2, and as I was going to take some pictures of the level 3 I'd just dropped, I noticed this scene. And I don't really know what else to call it other than a scene. So, aquatic whitetail. Now, I've had a few incidences of whitetail and other animals running underwater, but I've never had one get stuck whilst it's like more than halfway submerged. And I thought, okay, I'll take him just for extra respawns. But you can probably see, like, my confusion with the way I was moving there. I didn't really know what to make of that. Probably one of the funnier things I've seen for a little while. And moments like that do help to sort of lighten the mood when the whitetail grind is sort of taking its time and being a bit slow, like it has been for pretty much the past day. It's been a little bit slower. This level 3 was a troll, just short, like I said, 254.70, but a 95 kilo buck. So again, really can't complain. I don't need more diamond whitetail, so small ones like that not making it really doesn't faze me. Now, you're going to see me here looking around because I spotted a level 3 that I chased out of a zone. It's actually the way that I chased out the last 10 fables. It's from that area with that zone and the way that I sort of run the bucks through. But this one slipped through and I spotted him as I was picking up some other bucks that I had dropped. And I chased him out here into the more deserty looking area and found him stuck in a bush. And I've had a level 3 like this before, and he didn't look like as big as the max weight one that I'd shot in this video, so I figured I'd just take a shot at him, hopefully drop him, and actually did manage to drop him with a lung and spine shot. But a 98 kilo 269.20 diamond whitetail whilst it was fleeing is pretty cool. And believe it or not, I have shot a lot of deer whilst they've been stuck in bushes, and those shots don't always land. You know, they can duck too low or go too high just as you shoot, and you end up getting flesh or just spine. So I was pretty proud of actually making that shot. But he had a pretty good size rack on one side, and the other side was slightly smaller. I think if he'd been even with the bigger sides, he could have been potentially one that I'd keep for the lodge. But he was just a little bit shy of that. And finally, whilst I was actually waiting to do the audio recording for this video, I actually went and shot a few more whitetail, and this was one of the first things I spotted was another level 3. Now, once again, he has that rack that can either make it or troll. It's a smaller rack, it's a bit thinner, and normally it seems to depend on the tip-to-tip spread whether they actually make it. But I really like this spot. It's the little hot spot in the top sort of right corner of the map, where it is literally just two little scrapes of water. And there does tend to be a lot of whitetail here, and it is a really good spot. This is not the first level 3 I've had here. But yeah, I wasn't sure if he was actually going to make it. I thought I'd just see if anything else was to come out, because you never know. If there's a level 3, potentially there could be something else. Or, you know, maybe another level 3. In my case, I've had that a couple of times now, where I've had more than one diamond caliber animal actually come out from one location. And the whitetail in this location, it does seem to be like the bigger ones hang back a little bit more. So the 85 to 100 estimate ones tend to be the last ones to venture out from the trees to actually give me a shot. Whereas you can see the does are all sort of lining up in front of me already. So I always like to give it a little bit of extra time just to see what's going to wander out. You may notice I'm also carrying the 300 there. I have started using the 300 again just to shoot fleeing whitetail, purely because it just gets them down quicker, and if it's a small level 2 or even a small level 3 now, and I'm just not bothered about the score, I'll just take it with that just to drop it and get the respawn. But I just really quickly want to say again, guys, I am sorry that it is so whitetail heavy with the content at the moment. It's just going to be this way until I get another level 10 to spawn, or, you know, something happens that makes the grind not get finished. But I don't see that happening. I'm probably going to keep going until I get one. I actually spine shot this one as well, and he would have been a troll, so no great loss, but he really was quite a small one at 249.30. But yeah, thank you guys so much for all the support. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you guys again soon.